Hello, hello, hello. Let's see. It's probably going to take a second for people to find us and join. So, welcome to anyone joining now. Hello, everyone. If you're joining us from the US or the Americas, I hope you're having a lovely morning. If you're joining us from Europe, I hope you're having a great afternoon or evening. And if you're joining us from Australia or New Zealand or anywhere Southeast Asia, I imagine it's time for bed. So in that case, even more so, thank you for joining us for this lovely little cozy chat on this beautiful Saturday. Copenhagen is having fabulous weather. It is sunny, blue skies all around. So the perfect day to go into the studio, I thought, and chat to our newest collaborator. Many of you may have seen, we launched our first pattern from the Jonah x Hobbii collection yesterday. It is called the Life shirt, and spoiler alert, I'm wearing it. I'm going to chat to Jonah a little bit about this design and a few of the other cool upcoming designs that he has created for us, with us, and of course talk a little bit about his inspirations, his design process, and all things crochet and crafty. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you. I can already see a lot of people are very excited about this shirt. I'm gonna ask Jonah a lot of questions about it. Also, if you would like the pattern and you haven't already found it on our website, if you're commenting on the live, I'll send you a little link at the end of it, which will give you a direct link to the pattern. Otherwise, you can of course find it at hobbii.com or your local domain. So if you're joining from the Netherlands, it would be Hobbii NL. The pattern's available for free, so do check it out. I'm gonna invite Jonah to join in just a second. He, of course, I'd say needs no introduction, but yeah, very, very excited to have him with us today. In case you are, what was I gonna say? In case you have any questions, I will be monitoring the chat throughout the live and then ask Jonah your questions when they slot in, or maybe by the time we get around to it, we'll have already answered your questions. So just so you know, I will keep an eye on the chat. So if you have, excuse me, any questions, just pop them in there. I'm gonna invite Jonah to join me now. Let's see. I did it right. Jonah should be joining us any second now.
Hello.
Hi, Jonah.
How are you?
I am very well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm so glad to be with you today.
That is great to hear. I hope you're enjoying your summer. Did you have a nice break so far?
I am. Yep, a whole summer long. It's great.
Amazing. I'm gonna just turn up the volume a little because for some reason I think I can hear you better now. It was definitely my phone that was just on very low volume, but I think I can hear you much better now. Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful Saturday. I hope you're having equally wonderful weather as we are having in Copenhagen.
Yeah, some days it's a little hot, but today and yesterday it's been absolutely perfect.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to complain too much because I've been wearing your brand new design all day, and it is the perfect summer shirt. So I really can't complain about the heat.
It's lightweight. It's a little bit open, but not too much.
Yeah.
Nice long sleeves,
Yeah.
flowy, drapey, everything you could want for a summer shirt.
Exactly. It is the perfect design for this season. I can see a lot of people in the chat also being very impressed with the design already. So yeah, I can imagine we'll soon be seeing a lot of the Life shirt out and about in the streets.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think just to kick it off, I assume that most people here will know who you are, but in case someone missed our last live stream, or in case they've only just discovered us by coincidence, maybe you could just introduce yourself or reintroduce yourself a little bit. Tell us about who you are and who are you, who is Jonah, what is Jonah's hands, and yeah.
That's a loaded question, but if I had to, shorten it up for you guys, I would say that I'm a 16-year-old and, despite my love for crochet, I have a lot of different interests. I'm starting to get interested in possibly becoming a pilot and woodworking and a lot of other hands-on crafts. But, recently my family's also gotten a puppy, which has really been exciting.
Amazing.
And another thing that many people might not know about me is I also love ice cream. And Wisconsin itself, which is the state I live in, is just known for loving ice cream and dairy products, which it exports a lot of. And and yeah, that's those are just a few things to know about me. And of course, I love to crochet and I've gotten pretty good at it after 11 years of practice.
I I I would say you're more than quite good at it. I'd say you're probably uh, in 15 years time, endeavor to be where you are right now with your skills.
Thank you.
So yeah, you've already talked a little bit about crochet. Jonah's hands is of course sort of the product of your passion for crochet and that you've kind of turned into a business. Do you want to just plug that a little bit? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Jonah's Hands, I started with my mom in 2019. And so what we do, there's a lot of different things. And you can all go look at my website, jonahhands.com. And Louisa, would you be able to put that in the chat so everyone can just like go to the link there?
I will
Um,
certainly.
and so right away on the main page, you'll see a donation site where you can just click, and that's all my philanthropic projects, which we can delve into later. But then we also have my items for sale, like my handmade items that I've made so other people can enjoy the work that I've crocheted. But we also have like t-shirts and hand salve and pins and little merchandise things that people can just enjoy. But then we have books. One of them is a pattern book, and the other one is an autobiography of how I got started in crochet, whether it's my adoption story, and then also just more about why I got started in crochet and how I came to enjoy it and love the craft itself so much, and some of the friends I've met along the way as well. And then we also have a DVD about getting started in crochet. If you're kind of, worrying about how you'll get started and you're a little, afraid to just dive right in.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. So basically, all the things that we won't have time to talk about today, people can very easily find on your website available.
Yeah.
I've put the address in the chat, and of course, if anyone ever has any questions, you can always reach out to us at Hobbii. It's support@hobbii.com if you just have any questions about this. We'll be sure to forward people to the right place so that they can find you for sure.
Sounds good.
Um, Now, we already had a chat a while back where we kind of discussed your overall, well, who you were and your passion for crochet in a bit more general terms, and we teased some of the projects that we'll be talking about more in depth today. On this whole Hobbii journey, what has sort of been your favorite part of it so far, or what's been sort of your favorite yarn to work with? Maybe like that's a nice softball question. What's been your favorite Hobbii yarn so far?
Most people would expect me to pick like a chunky yarn because when I was younger, I used to always pick chunky yarns as my favorite, and especially blanket yarns. And while I still love working with blanket yarns, especially because where I live in Wisconsin, it gets really, really cold for a lot of the year. This summer especially, I've started to work with some of Hobbie's thinner like sport and fingering weight yarns. And I found that, well, projects take a little bit longer and some more persistence and perseverance, that your finished project is all that more beautiful, and the drape is gorgeous and the stitch definition, it completely makes up for it in the end. It's that, delayed gratification. So with that said, I've really enjoyed working with Oliven, and I just think the yarn is so beautiful with that little bit of twist in it of the colors. And for example, I have some right here. I have it in this beautiful amber color and this ocean blue, and then I actually don't know the name of this color, but this nice color right here. So I've used it in several different colors, and I've used it in this shirt right here as well. And I also used it in the lace shirt that you're wearing.
Exactly. I also have one skein here. This is the color 15, which is the one that was used to make this sample of the shirt. And yeah, like you said, you can see the sort of dual colors and the
Yeah.
twist in it. I agree. It's an absolutely stunning yarn, and it's perfect for this season. So perfect for summer with the linen. So I completely understand that you've really enjoyed working with it.
And I also enjoy the fact that you are able to pair lots of different yarns together that aren't even meant to be paired together, because of course you have your friends yarns that are paired together, but you can pair yarns like seashell and olivine together, or French cotton silk and all these different yarns like French cotton silk and olivine together, and those are even different weights, but they still work beautifully together.
Yeah, I like in this design definitely it's a gorgeous yeah combination to have these two together. And yeah, I'm really glad that you've been enjoying also experimenting a little bit, or that maybe yeah you've been happy to do that. That's a
Oh,
really
wait.
yeah.
I have to show you. I have a surprise for all of you. Speaking of the Leif shirt, I brought you the man himself. And all the ladies love this man, and the shirt brings out the blue in his eyes. And I also brought the new member of the family named Baby. So you can take a seat right here.
Hi.
Hi, Life. It's very nice to meet you. And
Yes.
hello, baby, presumably.
Yes.
Oh my God. What a cutie.
Yep, so that's Leif, and he's modeling his Leif shirt. And I made mine actually a flipped color version of his. So he has blue for the main color, and I chose mine to be brown for the main color.
So you're perfectly matching.
Yeah.
The summer
And that's
holiday, the
Baby.
summer family photos are gonna look amazing.
Thanks for modeling that, Leif. You're a
No
great older brother.
problem. I love it.
How does it feel to have a pattern named after you?
Feels great.
Do you think one day you'll be recognized as the Leif of the Leif shirt?
I would hope so. That would be awesome.
Thanks, Leif.
Thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. Thank you.
That was an awesome cameo, and we got to see the shirt modeled in real life by the man who inspired it.
You got to see Leif himself wearing the Leif shirt, and you got to see the new puppy.
Amazing! What a way to kick off! And we're only getting started. Let's see what else you have in store for us today.
Yeah.
So as we mentioned, your first pattern that you launched with us is of course the Leif shirt that we just saw modeled by the real Leif. So I feel like the one I'm wearing is almost like it's nowhere near as cool. How well, it's obviously not your first pattern that you've ever released. You've released quite a few. It's just the first that you've released in collaboration with us. But generally, how do you feel? Like, what's that moment like for you when your pattern goes out into the world after you've had the initial idea and it's gone through the entire development process, and then it's out there and you receive the feedback and you can see people making your creations? What does that feel like for you?
You know, after someone like me, for example, spends the time to make a pattern, and goes through the design process and actually creates it, and then knows it goes through pattern testers and pattern writers and the whole process and down the chain. And it's just amazing to think that now it's going to go to the actual crochet community. And those are the people who are going to be the ones that are benefiting from it. And it makes so many people happy. That's the joy that we get from it. And that's what makes designers, I think, continue to make the designs for the crochet community. And that's my favorite part by far. And I'm going to continue to do it because, of course, I can make great shirts and other items for my family. And another thing I wanted to note is I've made relatively difficult designs that are not the most beginner to easy level crocheter friendly, but I'm going to change that. I'd like, for example, I might throw in a beanie or something simpler.
That's amazing. Like the accessibility to make it more accessible to someone who's maybe just starting out, because of course you're an inspiration to many, but it can be challenging to immediately go in with like multiple panels or starting working in the round, etc.
I want my designs to be for everyone, not just a limited group of crocheters.
Yeah, that's amazing. I can see some people in the comments asking for the pattern. So if you've already commented on this live, I'll actually, at the end of it, send you a little link that already links to the pattern page. So if you've written any comments on this live, you'll get a link sent to you at the end. And also you can, of course, find it at hobbii.com or your local domain. So just in case people are asking for the pattern, it's available for free and it's already uploaded, and we will send you a link. So
I'm glad to hear people are interested. That fills my heart.
I definitely think they are. It's definitely already been quite, yeah, quite a positive reaction we've had to it. And I can 100% tell people that you want this shirt. You can believe me. It is amazing to wear in this weather right now. So it is the perfect shirt for right now. But I, of course, want to hear a bit about what you have to say about it. So just maybe present us the Leif shirt. I can get up and model it while you do.
So the Leif shirt has so many great qualities. For example, let's start with just the front panels. So on the front panels, the way it's constructed is there's a stripe right here that is made up of Friends cotton silk, which is a cotton and silk blend, which gives it a touch of softness on both sides, and it comes down, straight down, and then goes out across, and then that actually continues to go across and then comes back up like a mirrored version of itself. And then the rest of it is olivine, which is a 50% cotton and 50% linen blend. And that has like a dual tone twisted appearance to it, which gives it a little bit of a marled appearance, which is really beautiful and great for summer. And it's also done in a 2 double crochet chain 1 granny stitch, which is relatively simple, and it'll be good for easy to intermediate level crocheters. And that gives it a lot of drape instead of, as opposed to the 3 double crochet chain 1 granny stitch. And then for the sleeves, the way it's worked is by working chains around, and then you extend by working a chain all the way down for the length of whichever size you're going to make. And then you come back and you work double crochets in the stitching groups around with the olivine, and then you switch back to your Friends cotton silk for the edging.
It is a really, really beautiful pattern. Like genuinely, it's a super lovely design. I love the pop of color that you get and the little, yeah, mix of slightly different textures that you get with the two different yarns. It's super beautiful.
Yeah, and it's really interesting how when you're working with two different yarns like this, the way that they both feel like going through your hand and when you like wear them is you don't even notice like the changeover, and it's just really, I love how they just flow together. It's beautiful. And there's so many different colors you can choose from. On hobbii.com, you can, or whatever, like Louisa said, on whatever domain you have, you can find over 50 colors on some of their yarns that you can substitute for this pattern.
Yeah, and you can, yeah, truly make it your own. And it's also very customizable in terms of sizing. It's available all the way to 5XL, so it's very lovely that you can, yeah, you can sort of adjust it to your size. For reference, because in case anyone is wondering, I'm wearing actually the smallest size, so the extra small, and I'm normally a US size 8 to 10 in top. So that's why I didn't button it, because it would kind of stretch a little bit, but so it is kind of this really lovely, flowy, slightly oversized fit, and yeah, perfect for hot weather. Or in the fall, you just pop on a long sleeve shirt underneath and it's still perfect.
Yeah, it's very versatile. That's also my favorite part. You can wear it with something underneath. If you also can just wear it how it is. If you use like a little bit of a smaller crochet hook, you can change it up. You could also make it into long sleeves if you'd like. You can make it taller, shorter. You can just take the pattern and kind of run with it also if you'd like to.
Yeah, it's very lovely. I saw someone ask, yes, it does have a collar. I'm wearing my hair down, so you couldn't see it in my
Yeah,
version. It does come with a cute little collar as well, so it has these lovely little details. These, of course, you can adjust with, you can choose whichever buttons you like, but this version that I'm wearing has these little sort of mother of pearl buttons, which are also super lovely little detail. And of course, yeah, you can really make it your own however you would like. But yeah, I
yep.
think it's great.
Fully customizable.
Yeah, truly. And like you said, we have so many different colors. I know that for the Friends Cotton Silk, we're getting a restock. So if any of you are looking at the webpage now and are a bit disappointed, we will be getting a restock, I believe, in the month of August. So it's not too long. You can get everything else ready, and then you can pick the color you want to make your little contrast stripe here. So yeah, possibilities are truly endless. I love that Sparky Mom said that on the chat. It's a little bit like we talked about last time, the idea of the like fiber freedom of taking something and just truly being able to run with it and make it your own. As we said before, it's named for Leif, your brother. Did you start designing it with him in mind, or were you in the middle of the design process when you thought, "Ooh, I know who this shirt is going to be for"?
Well, originally originally I was actually just creating it, and as I was going along, I was like, you know what? I think this would be really good on my big brother Leif. He would look great in this. So, I just started changing up some of the measurements to fit Leif, because he's pretty tall and he's pretty muscular. So, yeah, and it looks great on him.
It really does. And like it's lovely because it is kind of a more oversized unisex pattern. So that's also amazing. You can of course, yeah, again, adjust it how you want. If you want more frills or if you want it a bit more sort of neutral, you can really truly do anything you want with it. And yeah, I think it's going to be a great success. I imagine a lot of people are going to be really happy making this.
Yep.
And yeah, I'm yeah, super glad that I get to model it today. For anyone who wants the pattern, like I've said, the pattern will be sent, like I'll send you a link at the end of the live, so you can just go to our website and download the pattern. It's available for free, and it's available in sizes all the way up to 5XL, so it's accessible to a lot of people. And like Jonah highlighted the techniques, it uses was it like the 2 double crochet, 1
Chain one.
chain? Yeah, I was like, what's it called in English again? Yeah, so it's the kind of more like a thinner version of the granny stitch, which then gives you that like, yeah, lovely drape, and it's not as stiff as it could get otherwise. And someone I can see on the chat is asking about purchasing buttons. We do also offer buttons on our website, and if you go to the pattern page, you will actually find everything you need for the pattern linked, including a crochet hook. Of course, you do not need to get a specific crochet hook. Use whichever one makes you feel the most comfortable and is the best for you. But yeah, all the materials you will need will be linked on our pattern page. So just for everyone to know. And I could talk about this probably for another hour because I've been enjoying wearing it so much. This is the one pattern that we've already launched, but we actually have 3 more patterns to talk about today that will launch in the near future. And so I actually have the next one right here. It is this beautiful, colorful bucket hat. I'm going to put it on for a minute and then take it off again because I think I'll overheat if I keep it on for too long. But it is this super pretty, colorful bucket hat. It's called the Crochet Color Splash Bucket Hat. And what can you tell us about this?
Yeah, so I also have this original sample that I made here too. And this is, like you said, the Crochet Color Splash Bucket Hat. And the original way that we were going to make this bucket hat is just by working the base. And then I was originally going to use beads. As surprising as that is, I was going to embroider beads where you see all these little colorful embroidery little nubs. And that's because I got this idea because my sister was using some of her beads and she was making bracelets for herself and I think some of her friends as well. And I was like, I'm going to use some of those beads and put them in this hat and see what it looks like. But, I started to do that and I just wasn't my favorite. And anyway, I was like, how can I replace those beads with something that I think is better fitting? And I decided to replace it with yarn. So I'll put it on here, and I decided to replace it with different color embroideries, just using up my scrap yarn, and I think it turned out beautifully. Just using any different colors I had, and I just worked over like 2 stitches each, and I got longer as I went to the bottom because of course I was increasing my amount of stitches, and I increased out for the brim. And then once I got here, I did something a little bit unique in order to achieve this single crochet reverse stitch on top of my crochet. I worked 1 row of single crochet into the back loop, and then I worked that single crochet reverse on top of that back loop. And so this stitch, it's a really sturdy hat, but it's also like really durable and it's just great for summer. And the best thing is it comes in both an adult size and a toddler/child size.
So again, you could truly make it for anyone. You could make it for yourself, you could make it for children, siblings,
Yeah.
and of course you can perfectly customize it to anyone's preferences.
And so I made it in that light gray color, but like shown here, but you can make it in a bunch of different base colors, like this more pumpkiny orange, this brighter orange, this gray, or even this navy would be really pretty. So you can make it for whatever occasion you want to make your hat for. There's so many different reasons you can make it for. Let's say for 4th of July in America, you could do a blue base, you could do like a cream base and then just do red and blue embroidery. Or you could do for sports teams or school colors or whatever you'd like. If you're in a club, do those colors.
Yeah, it's truly the hat for all seasons.
Yeah. It's a great way to use up scrap yarn as well.
Yeah, that I agree. And it's a great, I think bucket hats are also always great projects for people getting into crochet, just because it is a relatively small project. So you you have the end in sight. You don't feel like you're working on it forever and ever and ever, but instead you can see it shaping up quite fast. So
Yeah.
I think that makes it a really great project. I saw Anne Marie on the chat asking about where they can find you. I already put the link in the chat once, but it's jonahhands.com is your webpage. So if she wants to read more about you, or of course she can find you here on Instagram and see what you're up to. And I know that you already did a lovely little post featuring this hat a while ago as well. And you premiered it at first. So if anyone is always curious to see what Jonah is working on, then of course you've already posted about some of these projects on your Instagram page, so people will already be able to see what's coming up next.
Yeah. So that's the best place to look. My Instagram is for a lot of recent posts. My website, jonahhands.com, is for a lot of my philanthropic work, for my handmade items, and then also for a full list. And you can view all of my TV appearances right there, as well as my media articles.
Great. So like we already said, it's a very lovely project to use whichever yarns you have lying around. For bucket hats, I think mostly recommend cotton yarns, of course, just to have that like kind of still a bit sturdiness to them. What kind of skill level would you recommend maybe that someone who tries this? Because we've said before, you're trying to make your craft a bit more, your designs a bit more accessible. And I think bucket hats are usually quite great projects. What would you say, kind of which techniques should one maybe know when trying to do this?
Well, I say you should definitely know how to do the reverse single crochet, single crochet. So at this point, this is pretty, it's just slightly above basic crochet once you add in the reverse single crochet. The only thing that brings it up a notch to like between easy and intermediate crochet level is the embroidery, which takes a little bit longer than you would expect, but it's definitely worth it in the end. And you can also add less embroidery rows if it's, if you would like to, or you can even add more and go all the way up to the top of the hat. But whatever you'd like to do. So right now, I would say it's between easy and intermediate.
Great. I like you already described how you came up with the embroidery and how it was supposed to be beads, but then that didn't feel quite right. Generally, when you do these kinds of projects, what is your kind of approach to choosing maybe colors? Do you just go with the flow, or is this something that you plan out ahead of time a little bit? What's your approach to choosing colors for your projects?
For this one, I just decided to grab whatever colors I found. I had like a square box of different like scrap yarns that I wanted to use up. So I just decided to start grabbing random ones and just made sure I didn't use the same color or put like the same color by the same color. Like if I had the blue here, like this royal blue, I didn't want to put navy right next to it. And I had that rule, and then of course I didn't want to also like mix the colors up too close together. So those were my two rules, but other than that, I just let them fly free.
So yeah, again, like you said, a great sort of stash buster, a great way to get rid of the scrap yarn. You just take what you have and then you go for it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to make a really lovely project. The pattern is being sort of going through the last works, of being also translated for every market or every domain. So we're expecting to launch this in August. So anyone can get really excited about it. It'll take a little bit longer. Once you've finished your lathe shirt, you'll be ready. You'll be able to get on with the next project, which is
you could make this hat to match your lathe shirt. It'd be perfect.
Yeah, perfect. Exactly. Yeah, you choose your colors for this, and then it decides the color journey of your entire Jonah X Hobbii kind of creations. That's actually a brilliant idea. I would love a hat matching this, personally. This is very much, this color is exactly up my alley. Um, I've seen someone, Jeanette is asking in the chat if you've ever thought about doing maybe a podcast, like a more long format, to chat more about your crochet abilities, by the way.
I have actually never really thought about doing a podcast, but I'd be open to it because I love talking with fellow crocheters and just talking about how I got into crocheting, talking with others about how they are got into crocheting, what they like doing, because you know that's what the crochet community is about. That's the whole like foundation of what it's built on, is having conversations and sharing the art.
It truly is. It brings people. It brings amazing people together, and I agree. It's an amazing passion to have in common, and just a very yeah, a very bright spot, I think, for a lot of people as well. Um, we've now talked about two designs that are a bit more summery, although we've already agreed this is the hat for all seasons, and really you can wear your life shirt all the time. But the next pattern that is also coming up, and I think this was actually the first one that you kind of teased originally, it's hanging right behind me because since it is the middle of summer and I in the studio light, I was afraid I'd be too hot, so I'm not wearing it, but I am going to go grab it. It's the Chicago Bobble Cardigan, which is also going to be launched in August. So you have that to look forward to as well. So maybe you want to tell us a little bit about this amazing cardigan while I go grab it.
Yeah, so the Chicago Bobble cardigan has like it's a really special to me because it was the first cardigan and the first project just actually that I made with Hobbii. And there you go, you can see it. And I made it with a really chunky yarn and udon, so it's acrylic and wool, and it's really chunky, it's oversized, and I made it for when I went to a conference in Chicago, and the whole idea of it is I wanted it to be a big statement piece, because I knew a lot of people were going to be there, and I really wanted it just to show just modern crochet. And that's what all the bobbles on the sleeve are there for, and contrasting color, and the big popping collar. And I just really love the way it turned out. I also used extended half double crochet for the main stitch instead of like a normal basic stitch like single, half double, or double crochet. And let's see, what else did I do? Oh, I also used the drop sleeve instead to help it transition down instead of letting it naturally kind of stretch out like most sweaters would of that weight. And those are the main things I did to that cardigan, plus the balloon sleeves as well. And those are the main reasons that I love the Chicago Bobble cardigan. And of course, it's named that because the conference we went to was in Chicago.
Yeah. It is an amazing piece. It is truly a statement piece. Right now, it is quite hot wearing it, of course, because udon is an acrylic and wool blend. I have a skein here for those of you who are curious to see what udon normally looks like. You can see it's a fairly chunky and sizable yarn. So this is more towards what you said earlier about loving chunky yarns for the also speed at which you can work and just the result of it being so cozy as well. So
Yeah, and plus those bobbles are actually gigantic. You can't even really tell on camera, but in person they're huge.
yeah, they truly, it truly is a statement piece, like you said. So I think for anyone's winter wardrobe, you throw this on over just a basic tee and a pair of jeans, and you walk into a room and it is still like it. Yeah, it really is absolutely beautiful, and it feels super nice to wear as well. I mean, it feels super nice to wear. I will take it off in a second because I am getting quite warm, but it is super, super lovely. Um, and with these sort of fun details that you've added, what is your process when you design something like this? Do you create like a mood board or visual references, or do you sketch it out, or is it more like you kind of get going, and how do you sort of visualize your ideas or create them?
Well, this should be very surprising. Um, Most people think this is surprising. I don't do sketches or mood boards or, most things that lots of designers do. I kind of just, do it all in my head. Like I just think of what I want to make, and then I kind of create a sample of it in the yarn in a different yarn. And then I go back and use the yarn I'm going to use and I make it. that's just kind of how it works. And then I have my product right there.
That is incredible. So you truly go from straight from your imagination through like a little bit of testing straight to creating it.
Yes.
That's incredible. That, I mean, your imagination truly with this has led to something very beautiful. For those of you who maybe didn't see, it also has pockets. So especially for
Yeah.
women, for women's clothing, that's always very important. Not only is it gorgeous, it has pockets. Um, and what sort of was your inspiration then for this? Did you have like, was it just something you really wanted to try, or did you, yeah, see something somewhere and thought, "Ooh, I want really chunky bobble stitches. I want something really chunky."
This
Um,
This one actually did not come with any inspiration. I just wanted like a really big statement piece, and I love those two colors together, the cream with a little bit of a darker kind of gold color. And with udon, you don't always it's never really a solid color. Udon always has like slight undertones to it, which is why it's such a beautiful yarn. And the way the roving looks when you're using stitches, it has a really unique stitch definition for being a roving yarn. Um, and it just turned out beautiful. It's one of my favorite designs.
yeah.
And it was my first one too, and I'm really proud of it.
It absolutely did. And I can already see a lot of people in the comments being really excited about the pattern. So we will be releasing this pattern in approximately in August. So a little bit more waiting time, but of course we will make a big announcement when it is there. So yeah, we are very much looking forward to launching this pattern soon. It will then be available via Hobbii, and you can find it there. So just a little bit more waiting, and then the Chicago Bobble cardigan can be yours too. For anyone who would really like to make it. You already said that you used the like extended stitches for the body. Are there any specific sort of techniques that people should already know how to do, or do you think, like, especially if maybe someone hasn't really done bobble stitches before, do you think this is a great project to get into it, especially with udon being this chunky yarn?
I think that this project is more of an intermediate pattern for sure because for several reasons. The cuff is a like yarn over slip stitch in the back loop, which is kind of a stitch you don't really see often. Um, and then so the bobbles themselves are worked in a color work fashion with bobble stitches, which is another thing you don't really see often. Um, and then of course it's extended half double crochet. And then also the way that the drop sleeves are worked is also unique because lots of times drop sleeves are worked straight out and then just worked down from, but these are curved drop sleeves. Um, so there's a lot of different things that I did to this cardigan to make it like shaped really uniquely that I think are really beneficial for the cardigan, but not maybe the best for just like crocheters that are starting to learn bobbles per
Yeah,
se.
that is, I think, very good to know. And yeah, I think, but yeah, it is going to be a stunning statement piece in everyone's wardrobe. So I'm very much looking forward to when we launch the pattern, also seeing people create their own color journeys with it, with our udon palette. And I think it's going to be really, really lovely. And I think, oh, Valerie's asking if any of your designs are available for sale on your website, as in the finished product, as she is not a crocheter, unfortunately.
Yes, yes. I have lots of finished items on my website right now. Um, whether they're like baby blankets or cowls or actual full blankets themselves, there's a lot of different things up on my website.
I think, yeah, she'll definitely find some truly great Jonah originals on there. I saw someone else asking if there's maybe patterns to recommend for anyone who wants to prepare to make this. I imagine there are tutorials for a lot of these skills definitely
Yes.
available on YouTube. So maybe even just doing a little blanket that uses a lot of these different techniques could always be a great idea if you can't find a pattern that involves all of these techniques already.
Yeah, even just like making a swatch that's like let's say 6 inches wide, and then just working all the techniques until you feel like you've gotten a hang of all of them. Just going up and across, maybe for 3 inches or so, until you've gotten the hang of each of the techniques that are in the pattern.
Yeah, and it's a really cool way because it's a really great way if you're a beginner or you're getting more and more experience in crochet to also um, kind of document your process or document your progress as well. It's a lovely feeling once you've mastered a new skill and a new technique, and then yeah, it's a really cool testament to that. So I think it's really nice. I can see like people saying like baby blankets that you can make out of squares are obviously a great way to practice different techniques as well.
Yes, definitely.
So yeah, if you get started now, you will have all the skills down when the pattern drops, and then you can make your own Chicago bobble cardigan.
That's for sure. Yep, it's gonna be out in August,
Yes,
right? Okay.
it's that's planned release is for August, and
Well,
so
that's not far away at
not
all.
at all, not at all. So yeah, it should be coming very soon. I'm now double checking my notes. I am giving people wrong information, but I'm pretty sure that is September. I apologize. So the bucket hat is for August, and then the cardigan is for September. So
Okay.
right in time for sweater weather.
Yeah,
Will
even
be
better.
dropping.
That's good.
So yeah, good for people to know. We have one final design that we're also going to launch. I think also most likely in September. So if what was I going to say? Oh, unfortunately, I don't have a sample here to show, but it is the Gabby Summertime Crochet Top, which is this incredibly intricate design that you created. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that? We unfortunately don't have I don't have a visual, unfortunately, but
Yes, but before I start, I'm going to start by showing you the yarn I used. So the yarn I used is a mix of Friends yarn, and it used Friends cotton linen and the 8-4 yarn, the cotton 8-4. So here's the yarn that I actually used in these purple shades, but here's like another yarn you could use in this blue shade. And the way it worked is that I wanted to originally just make like a really lightweight top for fall. But when I made it, I decided that, oh, this is turning out to be a little more, classy and a little more formal than I expected the top to be. And then I just kind of continued with the pattern, but then I thought I would kind of make it look a little more rugged, for example, and just make it more casual of a crochet item because it's for fall and that's more the look that you go for in fall lots of times. So anyway, I decided I'd put some chain loops over by the arm right here. And so I did that, but in the end, I put a lot of chain loops there, and they all nestled into each other perfectly. And I used the Friends Cotton, yeah, Friends Cotton linen, that's right. So the 50 cotton, 50 linen blend, and they just laid so beautifully and even made it more beautiful. And now the project turned into like a really formal sweater top, and on the back, I even added bobbles in a diamond formation with a layer of fretwork in between. So it goes 1, 2, 3. And then on the front, it's just all fretwork lace. So
it is
you'll have to wait and
incredible.
see what it looks like.
Yeah, it is an incredible design. I've seen some of the photos of it, and yes, unfortunately, we can't show it now. Maybe in the future, definitely when we launch the pattern, you'll be all able to see exactly what we're talking about. I especially love the sleeve design, the little kind of cap sleeve with that sort of hanging detail. So pretty and such a brilliant idea, and genuinely something that I haven't seen in a lot of designs right now. So I think it was truly something I saw and was quite in awe of. So very beautiful. It has these like really intricate details, and so your design process was originally for it to be more casual. It became a bit more formal in the end. What is sort of generally your approach when you do these kinds of really intricate and different techniques? Do you like to already master a technique ahead of time and then you use them in your designs, or do you sometimes start a design with the in mind, oh, I'm going to challenge myself to try something I've never done before? Sort of.
With that one, I just decided to actually dive right in. I didn't make a sample, I didn't practice anything because I really wanted it to be a result of just whatever I was thinking, and that's what came out. I wanted it to be more like a little bit more informal, and just kind of however it ended up. But it turned out to be really beautiful and have those gorgeous inlaid chain loops. And that's the whole point about designing something. It is what you design is just a product of who you are, in my opinion.
That's a very like lovely way to phrase it as well. Is there sort of a part of designing that you find specifically very challenging? Is it more when you do these like really crazy techniques, or is it figuring out the colors, or what is sort of, do you think, your biggest challenge whenever it comes to designing something?
Lots of times it's certain hurdles that you have to get over. Like if you're going to change from a thin yarn to a thicker yarn, or from a thicker yarn to a thinner yarn, but you have to stay within this certain measurement per however many stitches you still need to use to obtain this specific cable stitch or something. Those kind of things that you have to be at to use this stitch pattern, those things really throw off the design process and really stifle you, if you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely a really big hurdle that you have to get over, but once you're over that hurdle, you're really set to go, and you like you said, that fiber freedom is all there.
Yeah, that's like, I truly think that that sort of yeah, phrase that you coined last time is really like a lovely like through line on your designs as well, where yeah, there's yeah, just I think a lot of really cool innovative details that you're adding as well. So yeah, the Gabby summer top, or the Gabby summertime top, unfortunately, we didn't have a visual for it, but it is going to be an amazing pattern that will release this fall as well. So we have one coming in August for sure, one coming August slash September, which is the Chicago bobble cardigan, and then the Leif shirt that we've been modeling, and that was modeled by the man, the myth, the legend, Leif, earlier for us, is already out on our website, so you can find it at hobbii.com or your local domain. And yeah, but these are not the only patterns that well, these are the ones that you have created that are already in the pipeline. But what are you working on right now? Are you working on any fun current projects, whether it be Hobbii or just something completely different?
Let me take a look around my craft room. Actually, yes, I am. I'm working on some really special projects. I'm working on some really cool new designs for Hobbii. Of course, I can't give away any spoilers, because, then I would be spoiling all your fun. But I will tell you that the next few projects, there will be some that are big ones, and there'll be a few smaller ones that are better for beginners. Like, for example, I might throw in a beanie, like I said earlier.
Very, very nice. So are you looking more towards like a fall kind of vibe with your next designs, or are you just going wherever your inspiration takes you?
Possibly. Yeah, I like to go with the season's flow to give people kind of what they would be looking to make,
Mm-hmm.
but I still can't give too much away.
No, of course not. Maybe people in the chat could actually let us know if you could dream up a project by Jonah, what would you really want to see him make, or what would you really like to see him design? Maybe people have some specific ideas that they would yeah, really like to see. But in the meantime, maybe just in the case anyone joined late, where can people find more about you? Where can they find you? Where can they see what you're up to?
They can find a lot more about me on my Instagram, Jonah Hands, my Facebook, Jonah's Hands, um, on my YouTube, Jonah's Hands as well, and then on my website, jonahhands.com. And another thing I wanted to mention, because I didn't say it earlier, regarding my philanthropic work in Ethiopia. So I'll quick do a review of the work I've already done. So, in terms of the library that we've built for the elementary students, that is now completely finished, and there's books for the 2,000 students, 3,000 books, as well as tutoring for the older kids in the evening. And then we moved on to their science lab for the elementary students. And now they have an award-winning teacher and he has an award from the federal government of Ethiopia. And now they have microscopes and lab goggles and everything else they need. And then we gave the female students a new bathroom to keep up their attendance rates. And we also gave them about 75 to 100 new desks and a bunch, and I mean pounds upon pounds of new pencils. And the next thing we want to do is fill the high schoolers' new library with books. And $7 buys a textbook for the high school students. So on my website, jonahhands.com, the big banner there with regarding Roots Ethiopia is how you can donate to that project that we're doing.
It's incredible work that you're doing, and it's yeah, a wonderful way to sort of give back. And I yeah, very much applaud you for your amazing philanthropy as well as your amazing crochet design. But I think it is genuinely such a wonderful thing you've accomplished and you've built. And I love that you're not slowing down, but just moving full steam ahead to really make a change. I think it's absolutely amazing.
Well, thank you, but I couldn't do it without the help of my mom and so many other people around the world.
Yeah. Best, well, yeah. So I was going to say congratulations to your mom as well, but that's not quite the word. It's more like best wishes, and genuinely like keep doing what you're doing, because it is absolutely amazing, an amazing cause, and truly inspirational in my opinion. And I think a lot of people in the chat here also 100% agree with me on that. And it is wonderful to see your journey, both as a person, as a philanthropist, as a designer. And I can't wait to see what you do next, both in collaboration with Hobbii, of course, your new designs. Maybe we'll have another chat about this in a few months' time. Who knows, to see what you sort of develop. But yeah, I just really, really enjoyed hearing about both your philanthropic. Thank you. That was the word that kind of my mouth got too lazy on. Philanthropic work and your design work. In case anyone has any more questions for Jonah, I'm going to have an eye for the chat, because these are sort of all of the designs that we've been able to talk about. So yeah, the Leif shirt is out now, and if you've left a little comment on this live, we will send you the link at the end of it. So then you'll get a little link. Someone is asking about left-handed crochet. Is that something that you've sort of looked into?
I have not ever practiced crocheting left-handed, but I am aware of it, and it looks just as good as when you crochet right-handed, though you are able to tell the difference by looking at it.
Yeah, I do think if you're a left-handed crocheter, since I know that most patterns out there are written for right-handed crocheter, there are a lot of really cool tools both on YouTube and social media to help you adapt your style, so that you can still enjoy Jonah's amazing works even if they're not specifically made for left-handed crocheters. So I don't think that should be the hurdle that keeps you from making one of these amazing designs. And I think I can see a lot of people being very inspired by you as well. I am going to let you go now, since it's early morning for you. You still have your whole Saturday ahead of you. Thank you so much, very much for joining me. Thank you for your amazing designs. It's been a joy to talk to you about them. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your summer.
You too. Thanks so much for having me. I really enjoyed coming on.
Thank you, and take care. Bye, Jonah, and goodbye, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We will send you a follow-up message after this so that you can get the link to all the patterns and everything. So have a wonderful day.
Crochet away, everyone.
Bye.